There's a lot we don't know out there. It's why we look for someone to guide us. We have to find our way through the vastness, figure out how things are connected. Because once we start seeing connections, we realize they're everywhere. Discovering those connections is how we turn information into intelligence and insights into action. And as AI is changing how we do business minute by minute, it takes advanced tools to keep finding those connections, to turn data into insight, chaos into order. So dive in, look for clues, connect the dots, and lean on the guides who can show you the way. Unlock the power of your data with HPE GreenLake. Uncover the intelligence that awaits, and open up opportunities, because behind every new discovery lies a universe of limitless possibility. With HPE, intelligence has no limits.
Please welcome HPE Executive Vice President and General Manager, Hybrid Cloud and Chief Technology Officer, Fidelma Russo.
Hey! Welcome to day 2 of HPE Discover. Isn't that a great video? So I hope you all had a great celebration at the Sphere last night. And what an exciting time for all of us to be part of this amazing technology journey, really changing the way people live and work. So 5 years ago, we declared the world was hybrid. And why was that? It's because data is everywhere, and data has gravity. And workloads move to where the data is. And AI, because it is a data-hungry workload, is really a hybrid workload by nature. And it's ideally suited to GreenLake. So it's one thing for me to stand up here and tell you about it. But first today, we're going to start a little differently. And we're going to hear from a customer about his real-life journey with data and the GreenLake Cloud. So I'd like to ask Alexey Varenko, VP of Cloud Data, SRE, and Product Engineering, he has a large role, from the Walt Disney Company, to share how they are leveraging HPE GreenLake to help make dreams come true. Alexey? Welcome.
Thank you.
So, can you help elaborate on the distributed nature of Disney's enterprise and how it really impacts your technology infrastructure?
Yeah, Disney's operations span various locations globally, from theme parks and resorts to production studios. Managing this distributed enterprise requires a flexible and scalable IT infrastructure that can adapt to the diverse requirements of each location while maintaining a consistent performance and reliability across the enterprise.
So why don't we talk a little bit about what your day-to-day life was like before HPE GreenLake and what it's like now that you've used HPE GreenLake across your enterprise.
Yeah. Before HPE GreenLake, we had not changed how we managed our infrastructure for several years. Requests were managed through ticket queues. Provisioning was done, by multiple different teams, and the cycle time was weeks, and it really took a while to get stuff done. Much of this was done manually, so it became hard to standardize and become consistent. Over the last several years, we've increased the adoption of cloud and hybrid technologies. With that, our users have come to expect self-service, on-demand provisioning that they can code against. They want to provision their infrastructure in minutes or hours, and they want to maintain that configuration through code. They manage the full infrastructure and the full stack through a DevOps manner, and they use delivery pipelines to deploy. GreenLake is helping us transform our hosting environment to enable this.
So that's truly, you've gotten a cloud experience out of this. And so, you know, with such a highly distributed organization, you've also got data gravity challenges because everything is at the edge. And so how does that affect Disney's operations, and, you know, what have you been doing with GreenLake to help you manage that?
With data being at various different locations, it's difficult to manage at the edge. Currently, we leverage a combination of hybrid and cloud-based solutions to address this challenge. HPE GreenLake helps us manage across multiple different locations and deploy the compute closer to the edge where the data is stored. This allows us to ensure security, compliance, and performance, and it simplifies our IT infrastructure by providing a unified platform for us to manage our compute, storage, and networking needs across the enterprise. This will free up our valuable IT resources and talent to focus on driving innovation rather than managing infrastructure.
So the benefits that you've gotten out of this, like what are you, how are you taking advantage of that? And what are you really, you know, what are you thinking about? What do you need from us as we're moving forward here?
By placing the infrastructure at the edge, HPE GreenLake helps us to process and analyze the data more effectively across our distributed enterprise, giving us the ability to drive better insights and make better decisions based off of that.
So are you looking for, as we move forward here, like as a partner, how are you thinking about us working together here?
In the future, we're always looking to, for more optionality to help us go faster and offer more and more flexibility for us to deploy. Extending the ability for our engineers to manage the full stack of infrastructure through code allows them to continue to modernize how we manage our infrastructure.
Is this so Mickey and Minnie can continue to smile and we can all get through the lines a lot faster?
Yes.
Yes, and you can have great vacations like you just came off?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So it's great for you to join us here today, Alexei,
Perfect.
and thank you for being such a great partner to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you very much for joining us. So, like the Disney company enterprises, they're very distributed. They require flexibility, scalability, and optionality for the demands of today and those of the future. And managing data and data gravity is a challenge for many enterprises. And HPE GreenLake is the hybrid cloud that enables enterprises to manage cost while increasing flexibility and optimizing operations. At HPE, we have continued to invest in the GreenLake hybrid cloud portfolio. And yesterday, we made two big announcements. We announced our HPE Private Cloud AI, a co-developed turnkey private cloud in partnership with NVIDIA. HPE Private Cloud AI is designed to accelerate enterprise AI adoption with a click-to-deploy engineered system preloaded with a complete AI software stack, co-developed by NVIDIA and HPE. In addition, we announced our new HPE virtualization capability for HPE Private Cloud. And as a trusted partner, customers have reached out to us as they are reevaluating how they modernize their IT estates. They're looking for new ways to support their legacy virtualized workloads and accelerate innovation through cloud-native and AI workloads. Now, customers want choice, and HPE remains committed to offering choice as we continue to support all virtualization technologies in the industry. In addition to supporting third-party technologies, HPE heard our customers, and we have invested in our own virtualization capabilities. And this is why we announced our new virtualization capability for private cloud. So with the addition of our new HPE virtualization capability for private cloud, we now have a complete set of runtime capabilities across VMs, containers, and bare metal, which further supports our ambition to provide fully integrated hybrid cloud solutions. So let's double-click on this game-changing announcement. With HPE virtualization capability for private cloud, we are combining enterprise-grade, open-source KVM technology with our innovative HPE cluster management for high availability and integrated data protection and automated lifecycle management. And as part of HPE Private Cloud, the new HPE virtualization capability will be offered alongside containers and bare metal, making HPE Private Cloud a future-proof environment for customers where they can run both their virtualized legacy workloads and their cloud-native and AI workloads on the same platform. Customers will experience the benefits of our industry-leading Alletra MP storage platform, which is also integrated into the private cloud portfolio. And our cloud-based management plane frees up valuable resources to run applications rather than using the resources for on-prem management. So in summary, the HPE virtualization capability provides a simple, intuitive, highly automated experience in a future-proof platform supporting legacy, cloud-native, and AI workloads. It's integrated with the HPE GreenLake Cloud. It provides multi-vendor, multi-cloud, in a multi-vendor, multi-cloud ecosystem, and it yields up to 5x TCO savings with HPE's holistic hybrid by design approach. And to see all of this in action, I'd like to have my colleague, Dennis Vilford, show you this new technology and how easy this is to use. Dennis?
Hey, Fidelma, how y'all doing? Good to see you.
High five.
Yeah, our high fives. We always do a high five. We miss each other all the time. We're both from Europe. You don't do that over there, you know? So we're working on it, trust me. So one of the things we've been working on, as you know, you heard Fidelma say, we're coming out with our own, or we have actually announced and is shipping our own virtualization stack. Because when we are finding what folks are doing with distributed enterprise infrastructure, they actually want to run their workloads. So this is an important point to understand because the workload doesn't run on anything. It runs on much of the gear that you manage. So here's the idea, guys. When you're deploying a private cloud throughout your entire infrastructure, you have many locations, right? Because if you could move your workload to a public cloud, what you would have would essentially be a public cloud instance. Many of the workloads, actually 2/3 of them, cannot move to a public cloud. They actually have to stay put on-prem. And why? Because Fidelma mentioned, data has gravity. If I don't take that data and compute upon it at that moment, the value of that data is destroyed. So sending it somewhere else for pressing and cleaning, not going to work. Therefore, the cloud has to come to you. So here's the deal, guys. When you're putting a private cloud in your location, what you obviously want to do is run all the kinds of workloads. Some workloads require an OS. It runs bare metal, yeah? Some workloads, and many of them, are virtualized, where we actually run it inside a VM. The other workloads that we work, they are actually tends to be containers. And there's a big conversation I've had with customers lately. They say, yeah, we run containers. But when I ask them, I say, all right, does it run inside a VM? And they go, yeah, we run them inside VMs. And if you're familiar with that, that's sort of like the turducken, right? You put a turkey and a duck, and yeah, it's ugly. So the point of being, more and more customers are coming back saying, for efficiency, I don't want to spend all the resources creating essentially more and more servers and storage because I make replications on my OS. I want to run my containers on bare metal. So here's the idea. So we had to come back and say, wait a minute, when you look at customers, they are doing what? You guys are doing what? You're buying new hardware, getting more efficiency. If you get new hardware and get more efficiency, that's good, but that's only good for around, I'd say, 25% of your cost. The rest of the cost comes from license fees that you have to pay for that middleware. And we decided, wait a minute, these cloud instances are really systems with software and hardware put together. If they're that, well, why don't we just bundle everything for you, and then you can actually run it day one. All right, so we log into GreenLake, and we log into GreenLake. You know we're 80 years old now, since we started in the garage. So we thought, hey, maybe we will take this 80-year birthday and update our look and feel. GreenLake, as you know, sort of an experience where there are two pieces to this control plane. One is in the cloud, right, where you have the big eye in the sky, and then you have the control plane that has instances in your different locations. So we can actually go and take a look at the whole estate from GreenLake. And when we do that, we actually can see a map of where we're operating, the entire GreenLake environment. Now, you guys know that we're talking about, in this demo, private cloud. So let's do private cloud, shall we? I'll get with it. I know, we're already way behind. So let's get into it. Here what you see is a subsection of your map. Why is that smaller than before? Because these are the private cloud instances I have running around out there at the location where they actually create real value with my real-time workloads at each company location. I'm reminded of Danfoss, one of our very dear customers. They say we're running 360 locations worldwide, and the data has to stay at that location. That's how the factory or the distribution center runs. That's super important to understand. So here we see what we have. We have 693 virtual machines. Some of them are the new HPE VMs. How about that? And they're intermixed with VMware. We can actually control both. And then you have bare metal and containers. And here's a nice little mix. You can see they're all over in terms of some of them utilization is high, some they're low, but we can have instrumentation to see this. Now let's drill into what we actually can do. Should we pick the Vegas location that's running right out here? Makes sense, right? If we can put a perfectly autonomous, self-managed cloud instance anywhere, why not put it right here on the floor? So that's what we're doing. So let's take a look at what we got out there. So as you can see, it's an 8-system machine, or an 8 systems integrated, or 8 server integrated machine. So get this, we have 4 that are not being used, we'll use them in a minute, and 4 that is actually a VM cluster. So what can we do with something like that? Well, what we can do is actually deploy VMs. Let's do that. There aren't any. So let's create one together. Are you good? Are you good? You want to do that? Anybody wants to do that? Yeah, let's do a VM. Okay, easy peasy. We click. Remember, all the stuff we do in a private cloud is 100% wizard-driven. So all you have to do is point and shoot, and you're in good shape. Here we take a VM, we call it Keynote VM. Gee, maybe not that's the most innovative, but at least we gave it 4 vCPUs, 32 gigabytes of DRAM, and 320 gigabytes of storage associated with that out of the embedded storage that comes in the system. Okay, advanced settings, believe me, today we don't have time for that. So we're just gonna do protection, and protection real quickly is integration with Certo that does continuous data protection of all the I/O that the VM is writing to the storage. So should something bad happen, you can always get your data back. So let's turn that on, and boom, off we go. And there it is. Wasn't that easy? Yes. It was almost so easy that you go, yeah, okay. So you start going, yeah, that can only be the beginning, because we have other things too. Yeah, we actually have legacy VMs. Consider this. When you buy a new private cloud instance, and it comes with all the software to run VMs, what do you want to do to increase the efficiency of your deployments? You want to move legacy VMs over to the new system and save some money. Okay, so how do we do that? We come in here, we pick 4, we do it faster now because I'm way over time, and boom, here we go. Where do we think we want to go? We want to move the VMs, and now we're moving them. How about that? Click, 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 and before you know it, automation takes over. Now you might ask yourself, who's doing all this automation? It's the GreenLake control plane that is a cluster of servers that are actually doing managing of your environment. They would reach out to where the legacy VMs are and migrate them in, as you just saw. Okay, so if you can do this for your private cloud, old legacy VMs, new HPE VMs, where you're much more cost effective, as Fidelma pointed out, we certainly want to do that for cloud VMs. Does that make sense? Let's go and do that. Public cloud as well, the control plane reaches out, and we see that we have some, I think it's AWS in this case, it could be anybody, Azure or Google, doesn't matter. They're running somewhere else. And we would ping them, get hold of them, and migrate them with the exact same wizard experience. Can you see that? We confirm it, and this automation takes over. Just a few seconds, and here we're done. Aha, how cool was that? Is that easy enough? Okay, good. 3 VMs moved from wherever they were onto your private cloud instance where they have their sort of home base and are much more cost effective. So here they all are, 8 VMs. But is that it? Are we done with the VMs? We're going to stop the demo here, right? But remember, Fidelma said, you have Kubernetes, right? You have your containers, and you have bare metal. So let's take a look at those 4 machines that we didn't really look at before, the bare metal instances. So check this out. There's no bare metal. So if I want to run the containers on a bare metal instance, what's the first thing I have to do? I got to put in some operating system, right? And here are my servers. I picked them. There are 3 or 4, actually, DL380s. And if we click Next, and we go in and get Ubuntu going. So Ubuntu, very solid industrial strength Unix, Linux deployment. We put that in, and if you know it, here we go again, automation takes over. How nice. Again, everything is automated, and it's 100% driven by the wizards. Okay, good. So here, 4 bare metal instances have been deployed. What do you think we should do with them? Yeah, you got it. We're going to put some container clusters out there. So let's do that lickety-split, and then we're almost done with this experience. Thanks for bearing with me, by the way. I appreciate it. All right, good. Here we are. Cluster details. We fill in the details, password, root password, all that jazz. You're up and running. IP addresses, Kubernetes cluster. There it is. How about that? So now we have cost-effective containers on top of bare metal, all done through the exact same experience. And here you have the summation. There are no more unused resources. They've all been spoken for. We just did it, click, 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 while having a cup of coffee. I'm certainly going to have one after this. Thank you so much.
All right, this year, we actually have extended our private cloud portfolio with a couple of new additions. We are going to talk about Private Cloud AI, and we are going to do another demo of how that all works. And hopefully, the technical difficulties we had were not with the virtualization capability, but they actually were with the audio visual. So, but let's talk a little bit about how we've extended the portfolio. We've added a dedicated private cloud enterprise here. And over the last year, as we've talked to HPE GreenLake customers, they've expressed the need for disconnected and sovereign environments. And this week, we announced our HPE dedicated private cloud enterprise for regulated environments. And this is for air-gapped environments as well as for sovereign cloud use cases. So operating in a disconnected cloud enables organizations to keep their sensitive data physically isolated from the public internet. That safeguards it from unauthorized access and potential breaches. HPE dedicated private cloud enterprise empowers organizations to embrace the benefits of the cloud while ensuring compliance, data sovereignty, enhanced security, transparency, and control. So you may have seen the announcement in April that the Defense Information Systems Agency, DISA, which is the only thing I can remember, selected HPE GreenLake for their distributed hybrid multi-cloud prototype to bring unified cloud experience to their data centers. So with all of the changes going on in the industry, private clouds are becoming more and more important to our customers' evolving IT strategies. Now, hopefully, you remember the video from Antonio's keynote yesterday and how BMW is leveraging HPE private cloud to revolutionize the customer experience at the BMW Group. And if you've been on the floor, and if you haven't, you should, you will see the most fabulous car from BMW on the floor. And I'm not really a car geek, but I actually love this car. And so I'm delighted to invite Renee Testroda, Head of IT Build of Vehicle Simulation at the BMW Group, to share BMW's experience with HPE Private Cloud.
Hi.
Hey, welcome, Renee.
Welcome.
And
Good afternoon.
And Renee, thank you for joining us. Especially Renee has had, you had some knee surgery a few weeks ago, and he's traveled a long way to be with us and share his story. So really, really welcome.
Thank you.
So can we start first with the challenge you faced at BMW?
Sure, sure. But before I answer that, let me set some context for the audience. As part of our TRACE program, which is focused on accelerating the delivery of our vehicle class, BMW has hundreds of test cars driving around the world, collecting vast amounts of data to optimize the software and testing the reliability of vehicle components. So the main challenge was how do we manage this vast amount of data generated during their test drives. Each test drive could generate up to 64 terabyte of data, which was crucial for testing driving dynamics, validating new assistance systems, optimizing software, and testing the reliability and durability of vehicle components. However, transferring this data from SSD disks to a central data lake for technical analysis was time-consuming and inefficient. The process involved manually removing hard disks from the cars and shipping them for processing, which was not only time-consuming, taking 18 hours per terabyte, but also expensive. To put things in perspective, I brought one with me so you can see how big these things are. Each disk, like this, cost around up to 40,000 euros, one. And they were sourced from a specialized company in Munich that produced ultra-high performance disks for high heat implementations. The need to ship these disks around the world meant BMW had to have more of them, leading to substantial costs. Not to mention that some of them sometimes got lost during shipping. As you can see, this was not sustainable, and for that reason, BMW was seeking a solution to manage and process this large amount of data more effectively and effectively and more efficiently. Yeah.
So, I mean, let's really take a look at this. This is 40,000 euros. This is an SSD, which I'm not sure my boss would let me put in a system and have spares, and I'm sure you lost a number of these as you were shipping them around the world.
Yeah, it was not too much, but even if it's just one, then it's too much.
And you brought these through customs from Germany on your trip here? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. You declared it?
Yeah, it was quite funny. So to describe, this is my new USB stick.
It's your USB stick. Okay. Okay. Great. So clearly this was a big challenge shipping these around the world. And so how did HP come into the picture here?
Yeah, exactly. It was a challenge, and that's why BMW partnered with HPE to implement a distributed private cloud. Each private cloud includes the right apps, VDI compute, network storage right at the data source. All of which is running on HPE GreenLake, which BMW selected to unify data management across all of its global locations. HPE GreenLake service also includes the HPE Ezmeral runtime for data-intensive apps and the HPE Ezmeral Data Fabric for the global data management.
So, and the results that you saw in comparison to how you were doing this before, you share some of that?
Yeah, so if you can imagine, the previous process involved manually taking out the hard disks and shipping them for analysis, something that took about 2 days or more, depending how fast DHL Express was. Now with HPE GreenLake, we reduced the upload time from 2 days plus, just the upload time, from 2 days plus to less than 5 minutes. The data is now processed at one of the around 30 HPE private clouds worldwide, located nearest to the test cars. Once the driver completes their shift of 8 hours, they simply drive the car to the nearest HPE private cloud, plug it in, and wait approximately 4 to 5 minutes to upload the data from the disk into the facility. Then the data processing begins immediately and making the necessary adjustments. This process has enabled BMW to process 1 terabyte at the edge in less than 1 hour instead of 18 hours. In addition to this improvements, BMW is also planning to implement AI into the TRACE program, which is focused on accelerating the delivery of the vehicle classes. The goal with AI is to achieve virtual validation on the entire car operating system and to increase development speed by 10 times. We are extremely excited about some of the announcement you've made around AI, and we are certainly looking forward for HPE to help us in our AI journey.
So that's an amazing story, and we'll certainly be here to work with you as you embark on your AI journey. And so if you were to describe your partnership with HPE in one sentence, what would that be?
As I mentioned to some of your team members, and I really do mean it, the biggest value add that we get from HPE is that it enables BMW to only focus on the why and the what. And we trust HPE to take care of the how again, and benefits us in so many years.
That's so profound. So thank you, Rene.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
So I think what Rene talked about was so profound. And as you heard from Rene, customers want to focus on the why and the what, and have HPE focus on the how. And NVIDIA AI Computing by HPE is going to accelerate the how for our customers. And NVIDIA AI Computing by HPE is all about making it easy for enterprises to get started on their AI journey by bringing together the people, the technology, and the economics they need to accelerate the transformation to generative AI. Now, NVIDIA and HPE wanted to do more than bring together technologies into a solution. We wanted to deliver an experience that would truly accelerate time to value for adoption of generative AI. And this is why we have engineered the industry's first turnkey private cloud for AI. Unlike other solutions that are services-led, private cloud for AI is ready to run out of the box. Plug it in, connect it to HPE's GreenLake Cloud. 3 clicks later, boom, your data science and IT operations teams are up and running. In addition, we deliver an evergreen experience, so you are always guaranteed to have the latest HPE software, NVIDIA AI Enterprise software, and NIM software just 1 click away. HPE Private Cloud AI includes comprehensive multi-layered controls from HPE and NVIDIA for your most secure, sensitive data and models. It includes built-in AI compliance and auditability. It includes automated AI pipelines with complete lineage traceability for your entire AI lifecycle. It includes a single dashboard to monitor all of your AI applications and services. And it supports multi-tenant collaboration with unified role-based access control, so you can isolate your data and your projects across different teams. Now, these are fully integrated systems, and they're ready to plug into your network and enabled with 3 clicks. And it is not a reference architecture, so there's no racking or stacking or loading software stacks. And the NVIDIA NIM software and the NVIDIA AI Enterprise software and the HPE AI Essentials software are all preloaded and immediately ready for your data research scientists to leverage. So you kind of think about it, when you get a new laptop and Microsoft Office is often loaded and ready to use, you can create a spreadsheet straight away. That's how you kind of think about this. So as your AI needs grow and mature, you can also easily expand and scale your infrastructure to support additional models and use cases. So with private cloud for AI, data engineers, data scientists, and IT operations teams, they experience instant productivity. Now data, which is at the core of AI, has private cloud AI is designed to make your data journey for the user as easy as possible. It contains an embedded data lakehouse, which allows you to have easy access to your existing data, whether that's structured or unstructured, on-prem or off-prem. It also includes the tools, the dashboards that you need to manage, secure, and establish guardrails around your data models and your infrastructure, providing built-in compliance and explainability. And deploying on-prem is 4 to 5 times more cost-effective for inferencing workloads. At launch, HPE Private Cloud AI will be available in 4 configurations, small to extra large. Each one of these is modular, and it allows you to expand and add capacity over time. And you get to maintain a consistent cloud-managed experience with HPE GreenLake Cloud. We offer a choice of self-managed or delivered as a fully managed service, and you can consume it through either CapEx or OpEx. You can start small with the L40Ss, and you can scale it to a GH200. And we are committed with our partner NVIDIA to introduce the latest models aligned with the NVIDIA roadmap. You start small with the inferencing pilots, and you scale to multiple use cases to either run inferencing, RAG, or LLM fine-tuning in one solution. Now, Private Cloud AI dramatically simplifies day 0, day 1, and day 2 operations. And it really starts with the Private Cloud control plane. And this enables you to easily set up and meter your environment. It allows you to manage your inventory, software and hardware. It offers dashboards for monitoring and observability. It provisions and manages your workloads. And it offers built-in lifecycle management for all aspects of your system. And we've taken that private cloud control plane and we've integrated it tightly with NVIDIA NIM software, with the NVIDIA AI Enterprise software stack, and with the HPE AI Essentials software stack. And this software stack together provides a curated set of AI data tools supporting day 2 and beyond AI needs for all of your data scientists. So, one of the most compelling differentiators of Private Cloud AI is in how we make it easy for you to access your enterprise data. Enterprises spend an inordinate amount of time wrangling data across existing and emerging data sources, whether that's on-prem, in the cloud, and in a variety amount of formats. And Private Cloud AI is the first to include a built-in data lakehouse as part of the solution. HPE's Data Lakehouse lets users access, manage, and govern a variety of data in a variety of formats across multiple sources in a simple, consistent experience. So whether that's structured or unstructured data, or even in modern formats like Iceberg tables, they're all accessible as a directory structure through the global namespace capability. So what does that really mean, okay? It means you don't have to build all of those connectors. It means you don't have to set up all of these complex ingest pipelines that everybody talks about. Instead, you just connect to a namespace, and the data is instantly accessible. And unlike traditional data lakehouse solutions, the data can reside at the source. So the data lakehouse truly federates access, and it avoids explicit copying of the data. So the data stays where it is, you have a directory structure, and this eliminates latency, eliminates complexity, and you can access your data no matter where it is. And this is critical for AI because AI is a data-hungry workload. And this is a first in the industry. But that's not all. So, this week, we also announced several innovations that complement private cloud AI. We unveiled the game-changing OpsRamp Operations Copilot. So this is a powerful AI capability that doesn't just analyze data, but it transforms it into actionable insights through a conversational assistant. And this innovation turbocharges productivity and efficiencies in ways we've only dreamed of. And the way I think about this is, you come in the morning, and you basically ask it, did I have problems overnight? And it says, you didn't have anything, and you can go get your cup of coffee, versus going through all of the scripts. But we now also, with OpsRamp, extend its observability to NVIDIA GPUs, AI clusters, DGX systems, and also Spectrum-X and InfiniBand switches. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for, and I'm sure Dennis is really thrilled to come back to stage and show you how all of this comes together. So, yes, this will be memorable. So, Dennis and my buddy, we're going to try again.
Are you ready for more?
So,
All right, okay. This time, hopefully, everything
you're going to show.
right away. And I need a microphone, I'm told. What?
Do you want me to stay?
No, yeah, you might want to hold my hand, but then I don't have any room for the mouse. All right, so guys, this is exciting times. We talked when I was in here before about a private cloud instance across all the locations you operate. What we're hearing from every single customer is this: I want to get going with AI. And we have hundreds of customer conversations over the year, and I always ask, so how's it going with AI? And they all look at me going, yeah, we're kind of looking into it. And it's because most of us, frankly, this is new territory. We don't quite know how to get a purchase on it. So I like to give you a little class on how we do this. Are you ready? Yes. So I'm an old hardware guy. That's why I got gray hair, right? 30 years in the business. So let's go over here, see if we can open the door. Actually, management was telling me, have you closed it? Now they locked it. No, it's open, it's open. Whew, I thought we were gonna. So guys, how many here likes hardware? Yeah, right, we're responsible for that. And here's what I keep saying to my software brethren. Remember, your software, as cool as it is, it runs on something, somewhere. Well, this is sort of a cloud in a can, guys, for AI. So check this out. It starts with the foundation down here. These are servers. What a surprise, we have servers in the mix. These are not just relative old school servers. These are new kinds of servers, AI servers. And you might say, well, what's the difference, Dennis? I certainly understand what a server is. What makes this a smart AI server? That's where NVIDIA GPUs come in. And you start saying, wait a minute. Just plugging in an NVIDIA GPU, my son does that on his gaming machine. That's true. However, to keep this guy nice and cool and have 4 or 8 in them takes some real engineering, because these are 700 watts apiece. They have 80 gigabytes worth of DRAM and thousands of CUDA cores. So they're little systems by themselves at a plug-in card, yeah? Okay, so what else do we have to build a system? We have networking throughout, high-speed networking, and of course, we have storage in the middle, the heart of the whole experience, because that's where your data lives. Okay, good. So what else? What's this little thing? Well, that's the GreenLake control plane. We actually have to have a cluster, highly available, managing everything in the machine. And if you go to 2 and 3 racks, this little brain manages the entire system. So that's what does it for the hardware. Did that make sense? Yay! We love that machine. We love our hardware. We can touch it, feel it, smell it. Okay, so now how about software that runs on it, that actually turns this into real value? Here's the deal. Here's the system. We already log in with GreenLake. I don't want to waste your time with that. But we are going to take quick 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. You heard Fidelma say it. You heard Antonio say it. We are actually going to be able to roll this fully integrated system off the truck, configured to your network subnet mask, your naming convention, everything. And all we have to do is just verify everything is fine. So let's take a look at this. This is private cloud for AI. Tour de force, next 10 minutes. Are you ready? Yes, I hope so. So did you see that? We just validated the whole system. Boom, boom. The software inside, everything, the drivers, all of it. So when it rolls off the truck, we know that it got to where it needs to be in one piece. And then what we do, we phone home and check, has there been any updates? This system might have been sitting on the loading dock for a little while. It might have been sitting there and we finally got around to install it. So it phones home, just like if you have a Tesla car, that's the same thing. Same thing, it's a complex integrated system of hardware and software. Once everything is tip-top, what we then say is, let's go. And what do you see here? You see a GreenLake home screen with the counters you would expect of CPU, vCPU, memory uses, and the like. So I'll take you on a quick little tour to see the tools that are built into this system. So not surprisingly, the NVIDIA framework is built in. So the NVIDIA framework that we have here is a whole bunch of tools. NVIDIA has spent a lot of time hardening for enterprise use. And all your developers know many of these well. Comes with the system, integrated in the system, ready to use. In addition, what we do, we actually go in and take a look at things like additions we can add. In addition, we add additions. Yes, we actually put other things in there like kubeflow and MLflow, things that your developers would appreciate. So that's in the system. Now, what else? Well, let me show you. There's actually, like Fidelma mentioned, plugins for all your data. No matter if it goes on here, we move it up. Where did the machine go? Over there, and move it into the machine, or you actually go and grab it from across the network. Let me show you that real quick. Each of these systems have a global namespace built in. And for those of you who go, what's a global namespace? Think of it as a big phone book that knows where all your files and objects are, have the ability to go and reach out and actually create a tree of understanding and knowledge for everything that I have in my enterprise. And here, of course, we're using Data Fabric technology from the Espel Data Fabric, fully integrated. So some of our software in here. So you have that. So that's actually the whole system with the tools. Are you ready to do a little experiment? Yes, let's do that. So what we have here is solution accelerators, because everyone wants a leg up to get going and actually do their own stuff with their own data. And while we have energy solutions and transportation solutions, have you ever tried to want to stand up a ChatGPT for yourself? Yeah? Have anyone done it? Well, we're going to do it right now. I'm going to click on Virtual Assistant here. We click on that, and as you can see, automation. You're getting the theme, right? There's automation for everything here. It's ready to deploy. I go into my deployed apps. I did a banking app earlier. I welcome you to go down and take a look at that and talk to the folks in the booth. But now we're going to focus on the virtual assistant. So here's my virtual assistant. What do you do with a virtual assistant? You ask it silly questions. So let me ask you a marketing question. Why is a private cloud the preferred place to run AI? And let's see what it answers. Oh, let's see. What? That seems to be a really silly answer. Oh, I forgot. I didn't actually add my own data to the trained model that I downloaded. Well, let's fix that, shall we? So I grabbed some data here, upload it from my local file system. It can be across the network, anywhere you have data. And there we go. It's already uploaded. It's actually augmenting the training. For those of you who may have heard this, it's what we call RAG, augmented. Okay, so you look at this, you actually start turning this on. And if I did everything right, I should be able to actually see this system do something useful. So I ask again, why is private cloud a good place to run workloads? And here's the answer it comes down with. Ooh, really nice. Better security, better latency, better control, whole bunch of benefits that that the system would not have known about had it not been augmented by your own data. So if you're in a hospital, or you're in a research facility, or manufacturing, you can show this system all your own data, and the people back home can start getting real useful AI experiences right off the bat. How does that sound? Yeah? Okay, great. All right, so what else? Well, there's a thing about this that we are always a little nervous about, and that is, are we exposing ourselves to danger here? These are powerful tools. These are powerful machines. All right, let's take a look. We can actually go and configure this. Have you heard of guardrails? That's exactly what they are, like guardrails on a freeway. They're actually rails or prohibiting functionality that we slap around pieces of this kind of code. And here we have the NVIDIA guardrails that we have compiled into the code and now turn it on. So now we have a safer chatbot. So let's see how safe it is. What should we ask it? Well, that's something not too colorful, but how about what's Anthony Neary's social security number? Would you like to know that? All right, I would. All right, let's take a look. Oh, what's this? Nah, sorry, can't do it. It's just a little chatbot, and it doesn't answer personal questions. So now it's fully safe. How do you like that? Pretty cool, right? And remember, we talked about RAG, and it turns out that we can actually, out of the system, crank the Jupyter notebooks. For those of you who may be new to this, you may have heard your developers say, oh yeah, it's all a Jupyter notebook. We have that built into the system as well. So here we can allow you to edit the notebook, or more importantly, take this information to your developers, share it with them, and what does that do for you if you're in IT? That gives you sort of a peace offering to come back to the developers with so that you have a common language. They can start using that. I can tell you when we built this system, some of our internal software engineers, they would go to the public cloud just to fool around with the application. When they heard we had this on-prem, they couldn't believe it. They're like, oh, we can play, oh my, this is our own cloud. Everybody wants to do this in the old confines of their own company, as opposed to doing it in a public cloud where goodness knows who gets to your personal data. And that's what we hear from everyone. So this is the system. So you start looking at it going, all right, what if I'm an operator? Any operators in here? Cool operator? No, that's an old song. I'm showing my age, right? Here's the point though. If you operate, what do you use? Well, here's the thing to really understand. It's hardware, yeah? We got that. It's middleware. We have NVIDIA. We have OSs. We have containers. So we need to instrument all those layers of the cake in order for us to actually gain full visibility to how this system behaves. And wouldn't you know it, we have Upstream integrated with GreenLake. How nice is that? So here's what I can see. I can see instrumentation at all layers, see how my models behave. But there's one more little cool thing. For those of you who were with us when we were in Frankfurt, we gave an early demo of this concept, the notion that systems have adjacencies. I know the network, for example, is connected to the server. I know the network is connected to the storage. Things are butting up against each other when you build big systems. When you run it from an application perspective, this is what you see. Here's my little virtual app. Everything is working fine. Virtual assistant is happy. I can drill down to, for example, look at infrastructure. What's the next layer down? Well, turns out to be containers, because it's a containerized workload. What are they running on? Little VMs. So this is the turducken we talked about in the first session. Pretty cool. What else? I want to see more. Give me the whole picture. Here the CPU and the DRAM and everything. Well, if I zoom out even further, I can see the supporting network and I can see the supporting storage. Why is that? Because each layer of this stack is fully instrumented through OpsRamp technology. If you can't see the problem, you can't fix the problem. And OpsRamp gives you that visibility. So let's just have this wonderful app. It's running quite nicely, right? And then all of a sudden, everything, wait, whoa, what's this? All of a sudden I have a problem? What's this? Well, we've had enough problems today, but this was actually planned. All right, so let's take a look. We can just go up and ask our operations co-pilot. And this is an important point. So all these tools have the internal scripting language, and they have a lot of stuff that you can do and automate. Do human beings like to sit and write code? No, we don't. So what do we do instead? We talk to the system. So let's ask, hey, why is my app running so slow? I'd like to know. And the system says, well, it's actually, let's see, it's actually probably because the private assistant is seeing some congestion. As you saw, the map expanded and turned red. So you can follow the breadcrumbs all the way down to the offending VM. Well, this is no good. I'd like to fix that, okay? So what can we do about it? How can I fix it, I asked the system. Well, the system says, luckily we have a little script that we can run. If we run this script, we can actually grow the size of the VM automatically. Okay, let's do that. Sounds like I want to do. And it says, you just want to make sure here before you go nuts, Dennis, that you really want to do that, right? Because you're grabbing more resources for a given VM. Are you certain? And I say, confirm, I want to do it. Let's just go for it. And here's what happens now. Fully automated, guys, at all layers of the stack. Very important. the system automatically shuts down. You can see everything turns gray. And then what happens? It goes to work. And as it goes to work, what it's doing is actually enhancing the configuration you saw in the early part of today's show, where we set up the VM, and it's adding to the resources. And there it is. Now the numbers are doubled automatically through the control plane of GreenLake. Now what it then says is, hey, if I have more room, I can spread my wings with more what? Containers. So let's just go and see the containers move into their new home. And it turns out we're twice as many containers. What have we created for the app? We got rid of the bandwidth bottleneck by doubling the amount of microservices running at that stage. Does that make sense? Isn't that cool? Can you do that today? No? All right, great. So this is the whole idea here. So you can see the applications coming up and running. Everything is turning nice and green. And before you notice, the GPU, the expensive GPUs, were actually being starved because of bottlenecks elsewhere. That bottleneck has now gone away. Okay, so this is it. Let's wrap up with some security and governance. You saw already how we can secure the model. We have a nice new partnership with CrowdStrike. And CrowdStrike actually enables us to take this whole application layer and fortify it and have the ability to detect any anomaly from a security perspective. And we link to the workbench. And here, we can actually do forensics. So for the security folks in the room, you can drill down at all levels. Why? Because you have CrowdStrike observability at a security level, you have OpsRamp security at the application and the systems level. Again, if you can't see the problem, you can't fix it. So what do we hear here? We saw actually 3 steps to Nirvana. We saw 3 steps, it was easy to get up and running, and we experimented a little bit. We wrote some code automatically, we operated it, we saw visibility, we remediated failure, and we secured the whole thing. Isn't that nice? It's all one big integrated system, guys. Very, very cool. Thank you for your kind attention.
Oh, thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
So I hope that gives you a feel for how powerful our private cloud AI offer is and how quickly it can enable you to focus on realizing the value of your data with AI tools and capabilities. Now, Dennis shared our partnership with CrowdStrike, and we have a couple of additional partners that are a foundational part of our offer. This week, we also announced our expanded partnership with Equinix. We pre-deploy private cloud AI instances there so you can get started even faster. And with Worldwide Technology WWT, we have partnered to provide early access to our private cloud AI at their Advanced Technology Center and North American Integration Centers to offer hands-on access to technology and proof of concept environments. Now, we started the week with NVIDIA at the Sphere, so it only makes sense to end today with NVIDIA. And my good friend from NVIDIA, Vice President of Enterprise Computing, Manuvir Das, is going to join me here today to have a conversation to talk about what comes next. Manuvir?
Hey, Fidelma.
Hi there.
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you
Yeah.
too. We've known each other for a while.
Yes.
So thanks for joining us today, and we've shared a lot of exciting news so far. So, we've been through a lot of shifts in this industry, but how does this shift compare to other ones we've been through?
You know, it's quite different, Fidelma, but if I may I want to start by saying thank you. NVIDIA, my company, our mission is very simple. We're here to make sure that everybody in this room is able to implement AI, Gen AI, and benefit from it, but it's not something we can do alone. We do it in partnership with you, and it's really amazing to see how HPE has really responded to this and come together to build something great with us. I think to your question, this shift is actually fundamentally different. And the reason is, if you think about other shifts in our industry, virtualization, databases, even the move to the cloud, which was a massive shift, if you think about the average company and the average employee in the average company, what did it actually mean to them? Not really very much. It's only the people in IT, in the engineering functions, building things that would care about where their app is running. But what's interesting about Gen AI is there's a use case for every employee of every company. So this shift is not just about the techie people in every company, it's actually about the entire company. And I think that's what's quite different.
That's actually really interesting. It impacts everybody.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, like what are kind of some of the challenges that people are facing as they adopt it, and how does private cloud and the work that we've done, how do you see that accelerating things?
Yeah, I think what's happened is this whole field of AI, right? It was this kind of computer science that you had to know. There are these people called data scientists who had to know how to train a model, how to fine-tune a model, do all of that. But I think what's changed with Gen AI is it's now moving to the world of developers, to just your average software developer sitting there at a company building an application that talks to a database, now building this new kind of application, which is actually using AI models. And this is a completely new thing. So I think the challenge for every company is, how do I get all my developers, my app builders, to use this new kind of technology, right?
So do you see, I mean, it's interesting you talk about the role of IT, because in cloud, IT kind of came after the fact. Everybody started, and then the IT team kind of said, I've got to get involved because I've got to corral everything.
Yeah.
So how do you see the role of IT in the adoption of generative AI and the things that we've done to try to really help them get involved? And how do you see this being different?
I think this is a unique opportunity for IT to actually get in the game early. Because if you think about what's happening, like every company we talk to a lot of companies, right, that work on Gen AI, and they've all started, they've all been experimenting, prototyping, building their few RAGs, calling into APIs in the cloud. And what's missing? What's missing is every company needs a platform, something like GPT in a box, where basically I've got a common infrastructure where I can just host my models, so I can build all my little applications, right? And that's the opportunity for IT. And that opportunity exists now, before these companies have gone and built everything and it's just running somewhere else in the cloud. And how do you bring it back, right? This can be done now. So I think this is a massive opportunity for IT. And I think the systems you showed, that's why you built them, right? So that IT can roll them in, plug them in, and offer, just like you offer a virtualization farm, you can offer a model serving farm for all these applications, right?
So if you think about it, IT and enterprises, so what advice do you have for people really getting started? How do you get started? Well, how do you think about it? Everybody's bombarded with information.
Yeah.
But how do you take away the signal? How do you find the signal in the noise?
In the noise. I think we went through this journey ourselves. We're a big user of AI. We've built hundreds of RAGs. I mean, the first thing I would say is you got to jump on this bandwagon now. I think if you wait, you're going to be late. That actually kind of sounds good.
That sounds like
I think you should copyright that. Yeah, if you're late, if you wait, you're going to be late. But I think just get going. Build some RAGs, build some chatbots. It's not that hard anymore. I think Dennis actually had a very nice demo. A lot of the pieces are built already. So I would say just get going. And then the other thing is, what's the low-hanging fruit? The low-hanging fruit is your assistants. Because if you think about it, Fidelma, who in this room is a manager at a company who has gone to their management and said, you gave me a team of 50 people. We're just sitting around doing nothing. Why don't you cut my team in half? Everybody wants more people. Why do you want more people? Because there's so much to do, right? So the thing about these virtual assistants that you can build for every function in your company is that with the same number of people, you can just do more. So you can expand your team without asking for more headcount. And it's safe because it's inside your company. You want to create a slide deck, let the virtual assistant create the first version that is 80% good. And then you do the work to the rest of the 20%, right? And if you just do that, you'll be so much more productive. So I think there's all these use cases, and I would say the simple thing I would say is just get going.
Oh, that's great advice. So let's talk a little bit about the future, because you've kind of talked about the now.
Yeah.
All right. So as you've talked to lots of companies, and clearly NVIDIA is really driving the future, and you keep announcing new things.
Yeah.
So give us a glimpse of what you think things are going to look like in 2 to 5 years, Manavir.
In 2 to 5 years. Okay, I think, my manager's salary is higher than mine. I think he has grand vision. Some of you might have seen him on stage with Antonio yesterday. I think I'm a little...
I think my manager's salary is higher than mine as well. So that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. So I'll give you sort of a more pragmatic thing. I think for enterprises, I think there's a new kind of enterprise app coming, and I would hope that in 2 years or 3 years from now, that's what you're going to see in all companies, which is hundreds or thousands of applications in every companies where it's no longer, I've got these databases and I'm writing little applications on top of databases. I've got the data lake where I've got all my enterprise data. I've got this infrastructure farm to host models, and I've got thousands of apps that are assistants of different kinds that are used in production every day. You know, I'd say this, Fidelma, that if you look at the journey of AI so far, it's been a little oriented towards the bigger companies, the companies that have the wherewithal to stand up huge amounts of infrastructure and all of that. But who needs Gen AI more? It's actually the smaller companies that have fewer resources that will benefit more from Gen AI. Because if I have only 20 people in my company and I can be twice as productive, I have 40 people in my company. So what I hope to see 2 to 3 years from now is every company out there has doubled its size for free because of all these assistants, right? So
Great, great. So thank you for your insights, and we look forward to your continued partnership and friendship, and excited about what's to come.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for
So
that.
thanks for joining us
Yeah,
today,
my
Manavir.
pleasure.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thanks, buddy. So in summary, HPE GreenLake Cloud, we've transformed enterprise operations to date. We've reduced cost, we've increased agility. With OpsRamp, it's been key for us for delivering hybrid cloud by design, with unmatched multi-vendor, multi-cloud capabilities. And as we enter the AI era in partnership with NVIDIA, we offer the flexibility to meet evolving AI demands, promising a consistent experience with future AI technologies. So by partnering with HPE and adopting HPE GreenLake, you can fully harness the power of AI. So let's applaud the future possibilities and success we will achieve together. Thank you for your time, thank you for your patience, and enjoy the rest of the conference.